So I have a marijuana poll to show to you guys in just a second, but before I do that, let me tell you the current situation with Joe Biden. There was a USA Today poll that came out. He has a 38% approval rating. Record low. Kamala Harris, 28%. I mean, she's getting down there in, Dick Cheney territory when he was VP or George W. Bush territory when he was president. That is abysmally low. She's in the realm of Congress. So they're slipping and they're slipping and they're slipping. My advice to Kamala and Joe would be, why don't you strip out another 4 provisions from Build Back Better that poll at 80%? That'll make your approval rating better. I mean, that's where we're at. That's where we're at when we're talking about this stuff. But there is something he can do to stop the slide. And the answer is legalize marijuana today, which you can do through executive order, through the stroke of a pen. So take a look at this poll. So you have 83% of Democrats and 50% of Republicans support the legalization of marijuana. And overall in the country, the number is now 68%. That is the world's easiest layup, son. 83% of Democrats, half of Republicans, and 68% of the country. Okay. Do you want to bump that number up from 38% to 44%? Sign the executive order today. One stroke of a pen. All you have to do is say, hey, weed is a Schedule 1 substance. Now it's Schedule 5. I just changed it, and I have the authority and the ability to do that. Nobody questions that. President's in charge of the executive agencies. Just like that, overnight, marijuana is effectively legal throughout the country, or at the very least decriminalized. The saddest thing of all, Biden probably has an ideological opposition to this. He's probably, ideologically, he's still stuck in the 1990s in that drug war mentality and the tough on crime mentality, and he's like, I don't agree. I just don't agree with it. Really? So should Hunter be in prison? I'll wait. Of course he doesn't think Hunter should be in prison. But hold on. So Hunter gets all the sympathy in the world and all the second and third and fourth and fifth chances in the world when he's all sorts of a drug addict, but everybody else doesn't. And by the way, even this is an unfair conversation because 80% of the people who do drugs aren't addicted. 20% are, but you should factor in the 80% who aren't when talking about drug policy as well. But even if you factor in the 20% who do get addicted, well, alcohol's legal. Is the existence of alcoholics a reason to ban alcohol for the entire country? Of course not. But it is for weed? It is for any other drug? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. If he was serious about improving his numbers and doing something good for the country, giving people more freedom and more liberty, he would sign the executive order today. And by the way, again, so you know what else I think would bump his numbers? Getting rid of student loan debt. Getting rid of student loan debt would do that too. But it is slightly more controversial, and I do think you'd have a strong, counter PR offensive where Fox News tries to pretend like you're bailing out already rich people or whatever the fuck. And so maybe that wouldn't have the same effect on the approval rating. But when it comes to legalizing marijuana, ain't no amount of propaganda that's going to take a 68% number and beat it back down. And ain't no amount of propaganda going to defeat the argument of, I'm in favor of freedom. You're not if you're against this. I'm in favor of liberty. You're not if you're against this. So it's low-hanging fruit. It's obvious. He should do it today because it's good policy, but it's also good politics. And it could help save his ass, or at least a little bit, but he's probably not going to do it. Imagine having the power that the president has and just choosing not to do that. Just choosing. Now, I'm not going to legalize marijuana and free all the nonviolent drug offenders, even though that is obviously the right thing to do. No. Old Joe doesn't think so. And that's the problem now, isn't it? Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.